Means the buzzers 18, 92 and the 182 are on diversion. To update us, 0800 731 2000 or tweet us at BBC Traveller. Now with the tube, there are minor delays affecting the Jubilee and Central lines. No Hammersmith and City line because of engineering work and a part suspension for the District line. Plus severe delays for London Overground services between Gospel Oak and Clapham Junction. And we have some rail strikes coming up with RMT union members going on strike on Saturday the 5th, 7th and 9th of November. And in separate disputes, London Underground.
By chance. Try it, and then run the thing down to a final analysis, and you will see it as the result of law. It is as plain as mathematics. Plan and purpose, cause and effect. From the movements of worlds to the growth of the grain of mustard seed, all the result of law. The fall of the stone down the mountainside is not chance. Forces which had been in operation for centuries caused it. And back of that cause were other causes, and so on until the causeless cause is reached. And life is not the result of chance. The law is here too. The law is in full operation whether you know it or not, whether you believe in it or not. You may be the ignorant object upon which the law operates, and bring yourself all sorts of trouble because of your ignorance of or opposition to the law. Or you may fall in with the operations to the law. Get into its current, as it were, and life will seem a far different thing to you. You cannot get outside of the law by refusing to have anything to do with it. You are at liberty to oppose it and produce all the friction you wish to. It doesn't hurt the law, and you may keep it up until you learn your lesson. The law of thought attraction is one name for the law, or rather for one manifestation. Again, I say, your thoughts are real things. They go forth from you in all directions, combining with thoughts of like kind, opposing thoughts of a different character, forming combinations, going where they are attracted, flying away from thought centers opposing them. And your mind attracts the thought of others, which have been sent out by them, consciously or unconsciously. But it attracts only those thoughts which are in harmony with its own. Like attracts like, and opposites repel opposites in the world of thought. If you set your mind to the keynote of courage, confidence, strength, and success, you attract to yourself thoughts of like nature, people of like nature, things that fit in the mental tube. Your prevailing thought or mood determines that which is to be drawn towards you, picks out your mental bedfellow. You are today setting into motion thought currents which will, in time, attract towards you thoughts, people, and conditions in harmony with the predominant note of your thought. Your thought will mingle with that of others of like nature and mind, and you will be attracted toward each other, and will surely come together with a common purpose sooner or later, unless one or the other of you should change the current of his thoughts. Fall in with the operations of the law. Make it a part of yourself. Get into its currents. Maintain your poise. Set your mind to the keynote of courage, confidence, and success. Get in touch with all the thoughts of that kind that are emanating every hour from
Prepare to turn right soon.
Get the best that is to be had in the thought world. The best is there, so be satisfied with nothing less. Get into...
Creative man is motivated by the desire to achieve, not by
Turn
the
right
desire
after
to
300 yards on Follow Bellinger Road.
Learn to value yourself, which means fight for your happiness. The man who does not value himself
Turn
cannot
next
value
right.
anything or anyone. Money is only a tool. It will take you wherever you wish, but it will not replace you as the driver. The question isn't who is going to let me, it's who is going to stop me.
Follow the road for 3/4 of a mile.
If you don't know, the thing to do is not to get scared, but to learn. To say, I love you, one must know first how to say the I. I swear by my life and my love of it that I will never live for the sake of another man, nor ask another man to live for mine. The truth is not for all men, but only for those who seek it.
know the road now. New cross, okay. For reach out.
One loses everything when one loses one's sense of humor.
We'll go right now after.
I don't follow you or follow come.
No one follow them.
Money will not purchase happiness for the man who has no concept of what he wants.
Follow Lucian. Sorry.
Achieving life is not the equivalent of avoiding death. There are two sides to every issue. One side is right and the other is wrong, but the middle is always evil. If one doesn't respect oneself, one can have neither love nor respect for
They will
others.
travel, put her like this.
It's much easier. I ain't go for everybody.
When I disagree with a rational man, I let reality be our final arbiter. If I am right, he will learn. If I am wrong, I will. One of us will win, but both will profit.
Prepare to keep right soon and continue to follow 805.
I could die for you,
You say what?
but I couldn't
No,
and
sorry, don't
wouldn't
cancel the
live for you.
navigator.
That
This
road
Keep
90
right after 400 yards, then drive straight and continue to follow 805.
Looking to be defenders of minorities.
What will take on? Let me phone. You're the driver and
The hardest thing to explain is the glaringly evident which everybody has decided not to see. Contradictions do not exist.
Keep
Whenever you
next
think that you are
right, then
facing a
drive straight.
contradiction, check your premises. You will find that one of them is wrong. My happiness is not the means to any end. It is the end. It is its own goal. It is its own purpose.
Drive straight, then take the next right.
Àwọn eléyìí wọ́n wọbẹ̀ wọn wà friendly to even start with.
This person go now. Just
Never
start from
think of pain or danger or enemies a moment longer than is necessary to fight them.
Keep next right, then take the next right to immediately.
The man who damns money has obtained it dishonorably. The man who respects it has earned it.
He pass you. Don't stop, he pass you.
She did not know the nature of her loneliness. The only words that named it were, "This is not the world I expected."
African country, they will get our food there.
They are not thinking, they're not serving themselves.
You have been the one encounter in my life that can never be
Turn next
repeated.
right, then take the second right
Only
turn.
African food, I can say.
A government is the most dangerous threat to man's rights. It holds a legal monopoly on the use of physical force against legally disarmed victims.
Turn next right.
I never found beauty in longing for the impossible, and never found the possible to be beyond my reach. The purpose of morality is to teach you not to suffer and die.
Turn next right.
You're going to see me now, no fun.
20
People create their own questions because they are afraid to look straight. All you have to do is look straight and see the road. And when you see it, don't sit looking at it. Run from the man who tells you that money is evil. That sentence is the leper's bell of an approaching looter.
Turn right after 250 yards and follow Lewisham Drive.
Expanding it to the limit of your life.
Clock speed for all this shooting wages is that 20, 12 or 30.
Integrity is the ability to stand by an idea. Patience is always
next right.
and romance is always round the corner. There is no such thing as a lousy job, only lousy men who don't care to do it.
Come and see me, we all have. The man don't call me tired. The little shaman.
If one's actions are
Turn right after
Yeah,
200 yards
so what
on
you have here,
Colton
just-
Road.
others.
Tó bá rí mi, á kígbe.
You know, Greek gossip.
Níbo ló wà?
Joy is the goal of existence, and joy is not to be stumbled upon, but to be achieved, and the act of treason is to let its vision drown in the swamp of the moment's torture.
They won't buy them immediately.
Rationalization is a process of not perceiving
Today is
reality,
Sunday, so I
but
don't
of
think...
attempting to make reality fit
Today is
one's
Sunday, so I don't
emotions.
think the man will be there today.
People are saying the shop because now weekend.
It is not death that we wish to avoid, but life that we wish to live.
You can only choose how to live. You can choose
Men
how
who
to
reject the responsibility of thought and reason can only exist as parasites on the thinking of others. Self-respect is something that can't be killed. The worst thing is to kill a man's pretense at it.
Why they drive like that? You know, saying I hear you, they go so.
In this world, either you're virtuous or you enjoy
Anyway, they come
yourself.
like say, "Won't come jam."
Not both. Power lust is a weed that grows only in the vacant lots of an
Like it's
abandoned
pushing you
mind.
Don't mind, and that's what it is. So I'm going to misbehave. Just enter with the drive rubbish.
Art is a selective recreation of reality according to an artist's metaphysical value judgments.
You come.
Come here, be that way.
But you see, the measure of hell you're able to endure is the measure of your love. When I die, I hope to go to heaven.
Every Sunday.
Whatever that is, and I want to be able to afford the price of admission.
See the idiots, you stupid.
A woman gets more sex pleasure from cheating than a man. For him, it's not a God knows what event. For her, cheating always means revenge, or passion, or sin. Every form of happiness is private. Our greatest moments are personal, self-motivated, not to be touched. In a free society, one does not have to deal with those who are irrational. One is free to avoid them.
See how the IRS is.
No speech is ever considered, but only the speaker. It's so much easier to pass judgment on a man than on an idea.
Very small house, we need to.
Every man is free to rise as far as he's able or willing, but the degree to which he thinks determines the degree to which he'll rise.
Because it's just too, I don't put it, it's too claustrophobic. You go there upstairs, noise everywhere. I don't like it.
Who will hear the noise? I
I
know
say-
people live for both
I
sides
don't
of
say
their
they
house.
don't do.
When train station pass on them.
Two imperfect people meet each other, fall in love, and become perfect
I
for
don't
each
like
other.
I like my house.
To be in
quite
love
strict.
means to stop comparing yourself to others. When love appeared in my life, I suddenly noticed how many songs were written about me, how many movies were made about me, plays, poems, paintings, sculptures. I suddenly found myself in the center of the art world. Love conquers everything, except poverty and toothache.
Yeah, I feel bad, man.
A man can give everything to his best friend, except the woman he loves.
This building, house mission.
No matter how old you are and what you have achieved, you still need a mother. Don't argue with your mom. Listen to her advice.
All this one and I
It's
sell
better to
it,
lose
sell
an
it.
argument than to regret later that you won it.
That's the annoying part of the whole thing.
Love is the only thing that sharpens the
Everywhere they
mind,
do this,
awakens the
every country.
imagination, cleanses and frees the
Before
soul.
people did it, they could push their out, they could put, big
A man
time,
in love takes
big
pleasure in watching his woman sleep.
the place. That's what they need.
Man in love, take pleasure.
If you love something, let it go.
Yeah.
If it is truly yours, it will come back to you.
Watching this woman sleep, maybe I should find
There is a difference between love and sex. Sex removes the feeling of awkwardness.
Take pleasure
Love generates it.
watching this woman sleep.
A man misses his one woman, so he seeks another, then another, and another. Some other man does not have enough life to love his only woman. Your naked body should belong to someone who loves your naked soul. To love means to talk to each finger separately. When a man says, I love women, he loves himself. When he says, I love one woman, he is truly in love. You want everything at once, but to get anything worth having, you need patience. Never marry a woman you can live with. Marry one you can't live without.
Never marry a woman you can live with. Marry the one you can't live without.
A woman is a creature who needs to be loved. If you don't know how to love her, be her friend. Life is short. You need to be able to walk out on a bad movie, throw a bad book away, break off a bad relationship. Things that don't work out should be thrown out. Even mediocrity should be jettisoned. Time is valuable. It's better to sleep, to eat, to gaze at a fire, at a child, at a woman, at a river. Life is short. The saddest sport is women's single figure skating. No matter how much a beautiful woman skates, no matter how she stretches out her arms, arches her back, twists her torso, no one will reach out to her or embrace her. She remains alone on the ice. True in sport and also in life.
Find the number. Let's grab.
Sexual desire can be likened to a gas stove. The fire in it flares up instantly at full capacity. It goes out just as quickly, turned off after the food is cooked. A woman's sexual desire is comparable to an electric stove. It slowly heats up to maximum temperature, then cools down slowly. The doorbell doesn't work. When you arrive, knock with your feet. Why with my feet? Because you're not coming here empty-handed. Remember, ladies,
call her now. You know what I'm calling for. If I won't call them again, no go hard. Like your owner, no hard. It's not being hard to that person.
Can't take your call right now. Just leave your message after the tone. And when you're done, press hash or just hang up.
Hello, Mom. Okay, call me back if you get this message. I want to make you fry stew so that the rice no go waste. Bye-bye.
For a man, it is not the size of your breasts or the shape of your hips that is important, but the size and shape of your sexual attitude and how you treat his. A man catches a fish either for sport or for food. He will either try to catch the largest fish he can, take a picture with it, brag to his friends, and throw it back. Or he will bring it home, weigh it, clean it, roll it in flour, fry it, and put it on a dish.
The person you're calling is on another line. Just leave your message after the tone. And when you're done, press hash or just hang up.
is a great analogy for how men pursue women. There are people in whom God lives. There are people in whom the devil lives. And there are people in whom only worms live. Sclerosis cannot be cured, but it can be forgotten. Love is always accompanied by fear of the loved one. This is not the fear of punishment, but the fear of not living up to the object of your love. That object drives you to improve yourself. When communicating with men, accept them as they are, not as you would like them to be. In relationships with men, you relate more to your dream of how things could turn out than of how things are. Always remember, two needs struggle against each other in a man: intimacy and independence. A woman can turn any man into a good man, but he does not come ready-made. A woman's loyalty is tested when her man has nothing. A man's loyalty is tested when he has everything.
You understand now?
The more you trust a person, the more he is tempted to betray you. There will always be people
A
who
woman
will hurt
loyalty
you. Continue to
is
trust
tested
people, but be
when you
careful.
have nothing. A man loyalty is tested
What shocked
when you have
me was
everything.
not that you lied to me, but that I no
So
longer
now my
believe you.
loyalty is tested as a good person.
Life is a little walk before eternal sleep.
Let me talk to now. A woman loyalty is tested. You understand?
Memories
When
are
you
the
have
riches
anything,
of
then you
old
know the
age.
woman. The man knows this. When you have everything, like
Today I killed 5 flies, 2 males and 3 females. How did you know their sex? 2 were sitting on a bottle of beer, 3 were sitting on a mirror.
Drink some.
Not really.
Health is when you have pain in a different place every day. Do you think medicine is making progress? Of course. When I was young, I had to undress every time I saw my doctor. Now, it's enough for me to just stick out my tongue forever. If a man does not strive to realize his dreams, if he does not do everything to find out who he is, what he does, and how much he earns, he is doomed.
Woman loyalty is tested when you have nothing.
Men can't know
Why man loyalty is tested when
They
you
must
have
be
everything.
told.
These things I don't believe
Life's not as good with money as it is bad without it.
I'll put them fed dementia.
There is
50 about the religion.
You only have to assume that they will all My favorite things in life.
Number 1.
No one.
Spend more time
One
alone.
time alone.
Nietzsche says,
Let's go.
I go into solitude so as not to drink out of everybody's cistern. When I am among the many, I live as the many do, and I do not think as I really think. After a time, it always seems as though they want to banish myself from myself, and rob me of my soul.
What is money?
Philosophers are often perceived as wise and lonely creatures, and it seems that Nietzsche was no exception. Although Nietzsche enjoyed great moments of popularity when he was a young professor at Basel, he only got fully acquainted with his true inner self when he was wandering alone in the Alpine mountains. Nietzsche believed that in social life, we tend to copy one another so much that as a result, it's often difficult to understand what's truly unique to you. We need to take more time alone to explore our inner world. According to Nietzsche, solitude can be approached in three different ways. 1. By avoiding being surrounded by people. 2. By focusing more on creative activities like personal hobbies. And 3. By meditating on life's meaning and analysing ourselves. Others can steal a lot of time from our lives, and we need to make time alone a priority to meditate, to read a book which speaks to our soul, to walk in nature, to plan our life. 1 hour each morning and a few hours each weekend in which you can be by yourself can make a huge difference to your life. However, we should not fall into the other extreme of being lonely. There is a difference between solitude and loneliness, the latter being the state of being alone and having an intense desire to be with other people. And so, remember to make a conscious choice to ride solo from time to time and enjoy your own company. Number 2. Mind your own business. Nietzsche says, "You have your way, I have my way. As for the right way, the correct way, and the only way, it does not exist." Nietzsche was one advocate of perspectivism, the worldview that says since each of us sees the world differently, there's no correct way to live your life, as others really cannot see the world as you. Number 1. Spend more time alone. Nietzsche says, "I go into solitude so as not to drink out of everybody's cistern. When I am among the many, I live as the many do, and I do not think as I really think. After a time, it always seems as though they want to banish myself from myself and rob me of my soul." Philosophers are often perceived as wise and lonely creatures, and it seems that Nietzsche was no exception. Although Nietzsche enjoyed great moments of popularity when he was a young professor at Basel, he only got fully acquainted with his true inner self when he was wandering alone in the Alpine mountains. Nietzsche believed that in social life, we tend to copy one another so much that as a result, it's often difficult to understand what's truly unique to you. We need to take more time alone to explore our inner world. According to Nietzsche, solitude can be approached in three different ways. 1. By avoiding being surrounded by people. 2. By focusing more on creative activities like personal hobbies. And 3. By meditating on life's meaning and analysing ourselves. Others can steal a lot of time from our lives, and we need to make time alone a priority to meditate, to read a book which speaks to our soul, to walk in nature, to plan our life. 1 hour each morning and a few hours each weekend in which you can be by yourself can make a huge difference to your life. However, we should not fall into the other extreme of being lonely. There is a difference between solitude and loneliness, the latter being the state of being alone and having an intense desire to be with other people. And so, remember to make a conscious choice to ride solo from time to time and enjoy your own company. Number 2. Mind your own business. Nietzsche says, "You have your way, I have my way. As for the right way, the correct way, and the only way, it does not exist." Nietzsche was one advocate of perspectivism, the worldview that says since each of us sees the world differently, there's no correct way to live your life, as others really cannot see the world as you do. All of us have different lives and different life experiences. It results in different judgments, opinions. Number 1. Spend more time alone. Nietzsche says, "I go into solitude so as not to drink out of everybody's cistern. When I am among the many, I live as the many do, and I do not think as I really think. After a time, it always seems as though they want to banish myself from myself and rob me of my soul." Philosophers are often perceived as wise and lonely creatures, and it seems that Nietzsche was no exception. Although Nietzsche enjoyed great moments of popularity when he was a young professor at Basel, He only got fully acquainted with his true inner self when he was wandering alone in the Alpine mountains. Nietzsche believed that in social life, we tend to copy one another so much that as a result, it's often difficult to understand what's truly unique to you. We need to take more time alone to explore our inner world. According to Nietzsche, solitude can be approached in 3 different ways. 1, by avoiding being surrounded by people. 2, by focusing more on creative activities like personal hobbies. And 3, by meditating on life's meaning and analysing ourselves. Others can steal a lot of time from our lives, and we need to make time alone a priority to meditate, to read a book which speaks to our soul, to walk in nature, to plan our life. 1 hour each morning and a few hours each weekend in which you can be by yourself can make a huge difference to your life. However, we should not fall into the other extreme of being lonely. There is a difference between solitude and loneliness, the latter being the state of being alone and
The M25 clockwise carriageway has now reopened between junction 29 at Romford and junction 30 at Lakeside after collision, but delays remain. And there are delays for the M40 northbound between junction 3 at Loudwater and junction 4. The 2 outside lanes remain closed after collision. A reminder that the M4 is closed each way between junction 5 at Langley and 6 as Slough Winds interchanges for weekend works. That's causing delays in the area. And slow for the M4 coming in from junction 3 at Heston up to the Chiswick roundabout because of roadworks. Now to Hounslow, and the A3005 Heston Road remains closed between the Sutton Road and Ordinary Avenue. That's after an emergency services incident. And the A404 Harrow Road remains closed each way between the Sudbury roundabout and Bridgewater Road near to Sudbury and Harrow Road station for police investigations. Greenwich slow on my camera on the A102 northbound from Blackwall Lane up to the Blackwall Tunnel. And further in, Bayswater Road is partly blocked right by Lancaster Gate Tube Station. That's for emergency vehicles to attend to an incident at Lancaster Gate. It also means there's no central line between Leytonstone and White City, with severe delays for the rest of the central line. There are also minor delays for the Jubilee line and no Hammersmith and City line today because of engineering work. Severe delays also for London Overground services between Gospel Oak and Clapham Junction. Fiona McKinnon, next updates in half an hour.
Wake up, London! That's the new voice coming to breakfast.
an intense desire to be with other people. So remember to make a conscious choice to ride solo from time to time and enjoy your own company. Number 2, mind your own business. Nietzsche says, you have your way, I have my way. As for the right way, the correct way, and the only way, it does not exist. Nietzsche was one advocate of perspectivism, the worldview that says since each of us sees the world differently, there's no correct way to live your life, as others really cannot see the world as you do. All of us have different lives and different life experiences. Number 1, spend more time alone. Nietzsche says, I go into solitude so as not to drink out of everybody's cistern. When I am among the many, I live as the many do, and I do not think as I really think. After a time, it always seems as though they want to banish myself from myself, and rob me of my soul. Philosophers are often perceived as wise and lonely creatures, and it seems that Nietzsche was no exception. Although Nietzsche enjoyed great moments of popularity when he was a young professor at Basel, he only got fully acquainted with his true inner self when he was wandering alone in the Alpine mountains. Nietzsche believed that in social life, we tend to copy one another so much that as a result, it's often difficult to understand what's truly unique to you. We need to take more time alone to explore our inner world. According to Nietzsche, solitude can be approached in 3 different ways. 1, by avoiding being surrounded by people. 2, by focusing more on creative activities like personal hobbies. And 3, by meditating on life's meaning and analysing ourselves. Others Others can steal a lot of time from our lives, and we need to make time alone a priority to meditate, to read a book which speaks to our soul, to walk in nature, to plan our life. 1 hour each morning and a few hours each weekend in which you can be by yourself can make a huge difference to your life. However, we should not fall into the other extreme of being lonely. There is a difference between solitude and loneliness, the latter being the state of being alone and having an intense desire to be with other people. And so, remember to make a conscious choice to ride solo from time to time and enjoy your own company. Number 2, mind your own business.
Someone else going there again.
Don't go stop.
Nature says, you have your way, I have my way. As for the right way, the correct way, and the only way, it does not exist.
So the right
Nietzsche
way,
was
the
one
correct way,
advocate
the
of
only way.
perspectivism, the worldview that says since each of us sees the world differently, there's no correct way to live your life, as others really cannot see the world as you do. All of us have different lives and different life experiences. It results in different judgments, opinions, and emotions, which results in different actions. Thus, what we... Number 1, spend more time alone. Nietzsche says, I go into solitude so as not to drink out of everybody's cistern. When I am among the many, I live as the many do, and I do not think as I really think. After a time, it always seems as though they want to banish myself from myself and rob me of my soul. Philosophers are often perceived as wise and lonely creatures, and it seems that Nietzsche was no exception. Although Nietzsche enjoyed great moments of popularity when he was a young professor at Basel, he only got fully acquainted with his true inner self when he was wandering alone in the Alpine mountains. Nietzsche believed that in social life, we tend to copy one another so much that as a result, it's often difficult to understand what's truly unique to you. We need to take more time alone to explore our inner world. According to Nietzsche, solitude can be approached in 3 different ways. 1, by avoiding being surrounded by people. 2, by focusing more on creative activities like personal hobbies. And 3, by meditating on life's meaning and analyzing ourselves. Others can steal a lot of time from our lives, and we need to make time alone a priority to meditate, to read a book which speaks to our soul, to walk in nature, to plan our life. 1 hour each morning and a few hours each weekend in which you can be by yourself can make a huge difference to your life. However, we should not fall into the other extreme of being lonely. There is a difference between solitude and loneliness, the latter being the state of being alone and having an intense desire to be with other people. And so, remember to make a conscious choice to ride solo from time to time and enjoy your own company.
I call you
Number
before.
2,
We're done your house.
mind your own business.
We're done your
Nietzsche
house.
says, you have your way, I have my way. As for the right way, the correct way, and the only way, it does not exist.
You have your way, I have my way.
Nietzsche was
As for the
one
right way,
advocate of
or the
perspectivism,
correct way, or
the worldview that says since each of us sees the world differently. Number 1, spend more time alone.
Only way does not
Nietzsche says, I go into solitude so as not to drink out of everybody's cistern. When I am among the many, I live as the many do, and I do not think as I really think. After a a time, it always seems as though they want to banish myself from myself and rob me of my soul.
He left it.
Philosophers are often perceived as wise and lonely creatures, and it seems that Nietzsche was no exception. Although Nietzsche enjoyed great moments of popularity when he was a young professor at Basel, he only got fully acquainted with his true inner self when he was wandering alone in the Alpine mountains. Nietzsche believed that in social life, we tend to copy one another so much that as a result, it's often difficult to understand what's truly unique to you. We need to take more time alone to explore our inner world. According to Nietzsche, solitude can be approached in 3 different ways. 1, by avoiding being surrounded by people. 2, by focusing more on creative activities like personal hobbies. And 3, by meditating on life's meaning and analysing ourselves. Others can steal a lot of time from our lives, and we need to make time alone a priority to meditate, to read a book which speaks to our soul, to walk in nature, to plan our life. 1 hour each morning and a few hours each weekend in which you can be by yourself can make a huge difference to your life. However, we should not fall into the other extreme of being lonely. There is a difference between solitude and loneliness. The latter being the state of being alone and having an intense desire to be with other people. And so remember to make a conscious choice to ride solo from time to time and enjoy your own company. Number 2, mind your own business. Nietzsche says, you have your way, I have my way. As for the right way, the correct way, and the only way, it does not exist. Nietzsche was one advocate of perspectivism, the worldview that says since each of us sees the world differently, there's no correct way to live your life, as others really cannot see the world as you do. All of us have different lives and different life experiences. It results in different judgments, opinions, and emotions, which results in different actions. Thus, what we have are called subjective truths, and we must realize that they don't necessarily represent reality. Somebody born in a sub-Saharan country, for example, might see the world very differently from somebody born in Singapore. As there is no objective reality, it is important to stop trying to convince others that our point of view is right, as there's nothing right or true. There is only our perception. We are all biased in one way or another, and to make our lives easier, it's better to give up the desire to categorize things as good or bad. In essence, everything is relative. To apply this Nietzschean lesson in our lives, we should be more humble and stop pretending that we have the final answers to what's true or not. What is good or evil? Our life is a journey, and each step a new discovery. Therefore, next time when you feel the impulse to criticize somebody for their opinions or who they are, you should stop.
Hello, Mamoke.
Yeah,
Yeah, we won't call you. We won't say what I make you fry stew. Make we eat that rice. Make the rice no spoil. Okay, no worry. We just hold the cake, no worry.
Now, do not forget the phone because the phone.
Those who will not do it, they're not today. Not Sunday.
Oh,
Now Monday we'll
because
get
the
it.
phone don't claim to. That's how
We'll go buy on Monday tomorrow. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll buy on Monday. Bye.
For a few moments to reflect on this. It's very easy to dismiss an opposing view or different lifestyle as wrong, simply because it's not in line with one's personal beliefs. But most of the time, these choices have little to no impact on our own lives, and as such, we should not engage in the debate, and instead, mind our own business.
Buy plantain.
Number 3,
Eh?
follow your own plans.
No,
Nietzsche tells us, he who cannot obey himself will be commanded. That is the nature of living creatures. According to Nietzsche, freedom is not a given right. It is a faculty that must be exercised. By being lazy in exercising this faculty, we might fall into the trap of following other people and groups, which he termed the herd mentality, instead of following ourselves, our true instincts and reason. When faced with an unpleasant situation, most people try to get away with the smallest energy expenditure possible, being too lazy to think for themselves, as it's much easier to follow somebody else, a group which tells you what's right and wrong, how you should behave, and even who you are. Thinking of yourself requires a great deal of mental fortitude, strength, and discipline, a level of effort few people choose to put in. We need to listen to Nietzsche and make the effort to be disciplined, to listen to our inner voice, our reason, and act according to our own values and principles. In other words, we need to